Another common question I get is what to look for in a financial advisor. And to answer that, I kind of want to take you through the history of my industry. And so if you think back to when things were first getting started, pretty much everybody that considered themselves a financial advisor was essentially nothing more than a glorified salesman. And what I mean is the way they got paid was essentially from commissions from whatever product it was that they sold you or claimed they were advising you to purchase. And so a lot of those types of advisors still exist today. Luckily, it's kind of a dying breed because of the bias that inherently goes with it. Obviously, if this company gives them a bigger kickback, then they're inclined to send you to that company versus the other one. And so it's one of those things where they're also kind of held to something called the suitability standard, which means as long as the product is suitable for you, it doesn't have to be in your best interest. It just has to be suitable. And so that's kind of the first lesson I want to teach you is understanding how your advisor gets paid and what their biases are, and how much they're getting paid. If they try to hee-haw around and say that they're not getting paid, believe me, if they're working with you, they're getting paid. If they can't clearly show that to you, there's a problem. And so make sure that A, they're a fiduciary, somebody that's acting within your best interest, and number two, that you understand how they get paid and in what form. Another type of way that advisors get paid is very common to do assets under management, which is simply just how much money can we manage for you. There's nothing super inherently wrong with it. It's just that can lead to some bias, like whether or not you keep your money in your 401k or you roll it over to an IRA or you pay off student debt. The issue is they have a bias very strong to have you roll it under their control, to have you not pay off debt necessarily, but to focus on how much money they're managing. Now, even when I used to work at my previous firm under that scenario, it's not like I was purposely trying to maximize how much I was managing, but it's definitely a bias that is there, and you should be aware of it. The other inherent problem with that is if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of money for them to manage, then either they're flat out going to tell you, like, we require $500,000 for us to work with you, or something like that. If they do take your money and you have much less than that, then chances are they're just not going to spend much time on you. I virtually got told at a prior place of employment that is a small account, don't spend any time on it. Like it happens. And so to really find the best service possible, you need to make sure that you understand how your advisor is getting paid, but also that they are getting paid. That way they have incentive to spend time with you. One way to do that is some advisors charge by the hour. And when kind of like a tax person or an attorney, they charge by the hour. There's advisors that do that. And it's probably one of the most efficient ways to go about it, as far as how much it's going to cost you, but it's also a very stressful way. Oh my gosh, I don't really want to talk to them any longer because I know it's costing me money. I'm on the clock. I personally don't like charging by the hour because of that exact phenomenon. Like, my whole philosophy is I want to understand you, I want to understand your life and your goals, what you hope to get out of it. Money's just the tool to help us get there. So I don't like to charge by the hour because people are not inclined to talk to me. Kind of the newest way that I see a lot of advisors doing is they're doing something called a subscription model or a retainer model where you pay them the same amount each and every month, and it might be coming out of your cash flow. That way they have incentive to keep you happy and keep working with you, but you don't go on the clock. You don't have to worry about how much time you're talking with them. You can talk to them as long as you want, and they're not going to bill you anymore. And so that's a little bit more in line with how I do it. But again, the most important things is look for a fiduciary, look for somebody that you understand exactly how they're getting paid. Those are the two most important things.